Time for Health Diary. My name is Gladys Gashanja and we're coming to you from the Emory Hotel here in Nairobi. Now, the other day we were taking a walk with my son and there was this man with vitiligo and his daughters. Now, my son, who is 6 years old, quickly asked me, "Mommy, what is wrong with his skin?" And I said he has vitiligo. Of course, the next question was, what is vitiligo? And I tried to explain to him as much as I could understand, and I realized most of us do not understand this condition as much as just that 6-year-old. That's why today we take time to understand what vitiligo is and the kind of stigma or life that those living with this condition have to face. But before we get to it, here now is a fact of the matter. Vitiligo is a disease that causes the loss of skin color in blotches. It occurs when the cells that produce melanin die or stop functioning. It can affect the skin on any part of your body, including the hair and the inside of the mouth. Vitiligo can affect all and sundry and has no cure. However, treatment for vitiligo may restore color to the affected skin, but it does not prevent continued loss of skin color or a recurrence.
My name is Jacqueline Wanjiro. I'm 24 years old. I'm a vitiligo victim. Yeah, I have lived with it for 15 years now. It started as a small patch on the neck, then it spread with time. At first I thought I was the only one because everywhere I went people would look at me weirdly. They would start me say things like I've been cursed, I should go do sacrifices, go through traditions, yeah, things like that. I used to go for phototherapy in Kenyatta and it just stopped spreading. I used to feel bad long ago, but I started accepting it. You know, when you accept it, people will accept you too. It's been tough sometimes. Yeah, if a kid looks at you and say, "I honor you feel bad, you know. But I've learned to control that. I'm happy with it. And I appreciate it. I love my pattern. They are very beautiful. My pattern is general. It's common to girls. Yeah. I don't know why. I really don't know why. We are only allergic to sun, where we are given sunscreens when we meet with our group. Yeah, it helps us not to get the sunburns because when you get too much sunburns, you get a skin cancer, which is so expensive to treat too.
Yes, the conversation today is vitiligo as we try to understand it. Dr. Evans Kamuri, who is a dermatologist, and Felix Owing, who is living with the condition. And I'll start with you, Dr. Vitiligo occurs when the cells that produce melanin die or stop functioning. So what causes that in the first place?
Well, the first thing, nobody knows why that happens. But what we know, it's an autoimmune. We call it an autoimmune reaction. Self-destruction. What do I mean? Your body naturally produces some cells to protect you from germs, from bacteria, virus, and such things. They protect you from everything. So occasionally, the body will produce some cells by itself to protect when it has noticed that some of its own cells are foreign or they are enemies. So for vitiligo, the body just starts producing some cells which think that the cell that gives skin its color, what we call the melanocyte, is enemy, and it starts crushing those cells. Why it would happen to you and not the other person, nobody knows. Why it would happen to some area and not other areas, nobody knows. But there is a tendency, there are some people who it happens genetically. You are genetically predisposed to the same, so that if your father had vitiligo, the chances of you having vitiligo are high. 2, there are people who have other associated autoimmune diseases. People with diabetes, people with lupus, people with thyroid problems. You will also notice that some of those people will have vitiligo.
Okay, so for Felix, do you have vitiligo in your family?
No, there is no one who has vitiligo in my family, just me.
You're the first one.
Yeah, I'm the only one who has it in my family.
And when did it start showing?
Mine started in around 28. It started on my lips. Yeah, and it stayed on my lips for a very long time. Then this spot came, it stayed here. Then it just started to spread all over my body. Yeah.
Okay, now Daktari, there are different types depending on how the patches or the blotches are spread out. What are these types?
There is what we call solitary vitiligo, where you only see it one place. There is what we call acro vitiligo. Acro means most of the time you either find it on the lips, the proximal, the distal part of the hands, and the distal part of the legs. You can also have what we call genital vitiligo. Most of the children will get it, what we call genitalia vitiligo, or vitiligo that affects the genital areas. And mothers come very worried. Others will have accused people that the child has been maybe molested of whichever nature. But genital vitiligo is also very common. But there is also that what we call now the generalized vitiligo, where the whole body is involved. The only bit that are remaining is very few that has the color. Then we have what we call sporadic. It is, you cannot, it's not generalized, it's not solitary, it's just in between. But there is also the type of vitiligo we call complete vitiligo and partial vitiligo. Partial vitiligo means you can see the patch is light but not complete. But there is the other one that is complete, like the one of Owen here. That is complete vitiligo. Even when we start treating, again, you will notice some areas become now like partial, and then the color comes back.
Okay, so for Felix, you said 2008 is when you first saw the signs. How old were you?
I was around 10.
10?
Yeah, around 10, 9.
What was the reaction from your parents?
It was just like normal, like what's happening to your lips. I visited so many hospitals, it was just on my lips. Like, there was no doctor who was able to diagnose like what's this on your lips. So I used to use creams, and when this spot came, that's when I became curious. Like, I just like with the technology, I just went to Google. I started googling things like, and I saw vitiligo, like just white patches on your skin, and I was like, so this might be vitiligo. So I went back to the hospital. I explained to the doctor, like, doctor, what's vitiligo? Like, even him, he didn't know like what's vitiligo. He didn't like, no, I don't know about that.
Wow. But it's interesting, as laymen would think that all doctors would see it and identify it.
Although now the information that now is in public domain is not like the past. It's not like 10 years ago. 10 years ago, Googling was also not the in thing. But now, everybody, in fact, I'm sure even when in school, everybody knows he has vitiligo. That's why part of what you are doing, which is very good, is actually public awareness. People to know that this is vitiligo. Initially, most people used to think every time they see you like this, it's cancer. It is HIV. And you see people greeting you. They want to greet you. They don't want, those ones of, could I get it? Could I not get it?
Okay, before we take the break, tell us, how has the stigma been?
Like, it's so hard. It's so hard. It takes a tough skin to live with vitiligo. Like, people out there see you like you are a curse. Like you're just not a normal person. People doesn't want to associate with you. They keep you off. People should just get to know like what's vitiligo. Yeah, even in matatus, when you sit in a seat, there is a seat which is empty. Someone will not sit there. Like, even if the matatu is full, they will not sit there. Like they fear. Like,
they think it's contagious.
Contagious, which is vitiligo is not contagious.
Wow. And Daktari, if I am genetically predisposed to vitiligo, what can I do to protect myself from the blotching? Or is it even possible to start with?
One, it's not possible. It's just it's like you are telling me, if I'm a dark father, is there a way I can make the child not to be born with my genes? It's not possible. However, the good about it is that it's not direct. There are those things that we call, they are dominant. That if you have vitiligo, automatically everybody else will have vitiligo. No, it doesn't work like that. Like now, Win here, I can tell him for a fact that it's not a must that your children get vitiligo. They may never get vitiligo. It's not direct inheritance.
Now, the reason why I asked that question is because constant exposure to the sun also fuels the blotching.
Yes.
So if I am predisposed to it and probably use more sunscreen than the next person, would I delay or thwart the blotching?
Well, vitiligo, if it is to come, it will still come, whether you are using sunscreen or not. The sunscreen, the reason why we advocate for sunscreen is not because of vitiligo. We worry of the sun because of the long-term effects of the sun. And one of the long-term effects of the sun is aging. If there was no sun, all of us would have baby's skin, if you know what I mean, baby skin. But because of the effect of the sun, we have the aging process. Two, we will have a similar color. If there was no sun, all of us would be having an even color. So that's why I'm saying the sun, we also get worried because of cancers. Cancers of the skin actually come because of the effect of the sun.
Okay, so some of the other things that come with vitiligo are the white eyelashes or eyebrows or even the graying of the hair. Now, I see a little bit on your brows, but not on your lashes. When did that start happening? Immediately, or it has gradually come?
It has gradually come.
What's the gradual progress of vitiligo?
Okay, they are what we call innocent vitiligo. Like for him, we would classify it as innocent vitiligo. This is vitiligo that can occur at any age. This one, you will see it in children. But if you see vitiligo happening when you are 50, 60 years, we don't call it innocent vitiligo because it could be vitiligo that is telling you something else. And this something else, it could be, you could be developing cancer or another system in the body that is now triggering when the body is now trying to fight that red herring problem, then it hits the color of the cells of the skin color, then you get vitiligo. So when we see you around 50, 60, and you're developing vitiligo, we first screen you for any form of malignancy or any form of cancer, and we also screen you for all other autoimmune diseases. We screen you for lupus, we screen you for diabetes, we screen you for thyroid issues. So when we see it old, we get worried.
Okay, so what treatment are you on?
Right now, I'm not on any treatment. I gave up. I was advised to go for vitiligo grafting, but I saw like there is no need. I should just accept myself. By the way, if you have vitiligo, you should just accept yourself and move on, because you will try so many, but they will not work. Even the traditional ones, they don't work. The spot might go off, but it will definitely come back again.
The most difficult type of vitiligo and the most resistant to treatment is the acro. The one I was telling you, the acro, the ones that involve the hands, the feet, the lips, it's very difficult. But the other types of vitiligo, especially if you have vitiligo near where there is hair, it is the easiest to treat. Because the hair follicle, and even when we start treating, when we know the vitiligo is disappearing, we see colors forming near the hair. In fact, the hair starts at the dark color starts at the hair follicle, just near where the hair shoots out. There are a number of treatment options. One, there are medicines. There are medicines that tries to prime that process. Two, there are medicines which stops that autoimmune. You know that autoimmune, it means your immunity is exaggeratedly happy to do something, you know, like you are just doing self-mutilation. So there are some drugs we give to cool down that immunity, but that works when it's an acute vitiligo. Like when you discover now I'm developing vitiligo like this month or last month, that means it's an active vitiligo. That one can respond. Two, there are some drugs we apply. We apply so that we try to prime the color to form from where we are using, where the color has gotten lost. That's two. Three, there are drugs we also apply so that when you go out, the sun hits you so hard such that your skin now starts responding, so that you try to trigger the process of making new cells, as in we are burning you. The other thing is there is what we do, phototherapy. We expose you to irradiation, which is safe, And now where you are burning, it primes the color, the cells to start forming. And lastly, there is surgical, what he was being told. Surgical, you literally do grafting. You cut where there is skin, you put another one. Currently, the most modern now, we are actually doing plasma. We are generating cells. We try to create cells of color separately from your own blood, and then we plant near those areas where there is no color using your own cells. If that does not work, then we go to the basics, camouflage. We just tell you to go to a supermarket, get a nice foundation, and you apply. You cover, and you go.
And this is for both male and female?
Both male and female.
Okay. My question would be for you, is it because you probably did not see a dermatologist, that's why you didn't get the right treatment solution for yourself?
No, I saw a dermatologist. Yeah, but the cream he advised me to use didn't seem to work, so I just left using any drugs, any medications. Yeah.
Can he seek intervention, or it's okay to live the way he's chosen to live?
Vitiligo is not one of the easiest things to treat, and different people respond differently. There are people we have treated for years. Even with all those, even in Kenyatta National Hospital, we have a phototherapy machines where we have a group of people who come routinely for that irradiation. Some have responded, others have not responded. And then technology is changing. Things are changing. What was there 10 years ago is totally different now. Always get a second opinion to somebody else, be advised, and also, as you have said, Google.
But maybe one of the other factors that has stopped you from seeking treatment could be the cost of the same, right?
Yeah, those creams are so expensive. They're very expensive.
So you used to pay out of pocket, or your parents had an
My
insurance?
parents, no, just their money. Yeah.
Now, one thing now we need to be very happy is that UHC is coming, and most of these things will be covered from Mashinani.
So are we saying NHIF as it is right now does not cover it?
This is covered. Just like any other disease, this is one of the diseases that is covered by any insurance. It's not those diseases that people used to say they are either aesthetic or cosmetic. No, this is not cancer. This is not HIV related. Vitiligo is not contagious and will never be contagious. So don't refuse to greet somebody because you have your own reasons.
Diet-wise, I'm sure you've had conversations about what's good for your skin, what's not good for your skin. Did you ever change anything about that, Amma?
No, I haven't changed on the diet. I haven't changed on anything. Life just goes on. Like, I just decided to accept myself. If it decides to cover my own body, let it be. Yeah.
Take good care of your skin, just the way any other person who doesn't have has. Enough water, sun protection, balanced diet, and then live. And let others live.
Do you have a support system that works with you? People that are living with the same condition, perhaps?
We have royal patches and we have vitiligo. It's beautiful. Yeah.
And do you try to go to probably schools to help the young minds that are living with this condition and probably would not understand what it is, and their self-esteem takes a beating because of people not understanding what it is?
Yeah, that's what we are currently working on. Yeah, we currently trying to create awareness about vitiligo.
Dr. Clearly it's come out that there are some health practitioners who do not even recognize it. What is being done on that end?
When it is in doubt, because there are other skin conditions that would look like vitiligo. Now, those are the ones I would expect somebody would confuse. And one of them is what we call pityriasis vesicular. There is, in Mombasa, we call it umba. There is this fungal infection. People get patches, uko, especially it's in hot areas. There is something we call pityriasis alba, which is a precursor of eczema in children. If you see it again, you will see a child with a patch. There are some infections that can actually cause that. So what I'm saying is that when you see, first look, ask, examine, then you should know that this is vitiligo. If you are in doubt, always send that person to another physician or a dermatologist, whichever part of the world you are in.
So as we wind up this conversation, Felix, what's your clarion call to society and especially those living around those with vitiligo?
They should just accept people with vitiligo. Like, they should just know vitiligo is not contagious, and they should just live with people with vitiligo freely. Yeah, yeah. And people living with vitiligo should also come out. You know, there are some people who fear. Yeah. They fear if they come out, they will be laughed, they will be... Yeah, so they should just come out.
Okay, Daktari, awareness is very important. Mashinani, where somebody does not even know what the name of his condition is, it probably is even worse for them, right?
Yes. Well, the good thing is that there is now information in the public domain. And I would tell people always before, ask for medical advice from the right person, wherever you are. For people who have conditions like this one, as Owini has said, it's not infectious, it's not contagious, please embrace them. Let's not have this stigma that people always have, so that sometimes we put stigma in some things and it pushes many people backward. Everybody is important, and it's good to know that all of us are fearfully and wonderfully made or created.
Very well said. Well, the conversation has been vitiligo, Dr. Evans Kamuri, who is a dermatologist, and of course Felix Owing, who is living with vitiligo. Time now for a health tip.
The first thing is you have to have a very nice chair that isn't too wide and is not too tall again, and then it has to have some support for your back. So when you sit down, I want you to push the back of your buttocks all the way to the end of the seat, and then once you are at the end, ensure your knees and feet are at 90 angles or right angles. You could have a seat that has a rest, or you could have the rest on your table. Ensure that the seat is not inclining too much to the back. Ensure the seat is not too upright. And when you sit, ensure that your laptop or whatever you are using on the desk is slightly raised up. That will ensure that you don't hunch forward, and that will also ensure that you don't tire your shoulders as you continue with your working area.
A very informative episode today as we learned about vitiligo, and of course yet another episode coming your way next time. My name is Gladys Kashanja. Keep your suggestions and your comments coming through on our social media handles. This is the Emory Hotel. Until next time, see you.
I've read.
Msichana wangu. Yeah, but I need to take a selfie. Another. Don't do that.